What's going on, guys? It's Greg here, aka New York Prepper, and in this video I'm going to do another overlooked prep that a lot of preppers don't think to stockpile or to build up their quantities of. And is it this beautiful 300 Win Mag with Burris XTR scope that you see in front of you? No, it is not this rifle. But I do believe that is an overlooked prep, is a good precision rifle. And I'm actually mounting the scope on this right now, and this is going to be my new 1,000-yard rifle. I used to have a 338 Lapua, but I sold it and decided to go with a 300 Win Mag because it's a lot cheaper to shoot. But I'll be doing a review of this rifle, and I'll be doing some range videos. I'm going to take this out to the 1,000-yard range close to where I live, and I'll also be doing some instructional videos on long-range precision shooting. So look for those videos coming to my channel in the coming weeks and months. But in this episode of Overlooked Preps, I'm going to talk about something a lot less sexy, but a lot more important, actually, in my opinion. And it's something that a lot of preppers overlook, and that's basically just fire steels. You know, fire steels are very important, and this particular fire steel is made by Bayite. I'm sure a lot of you guys have heard of them. They are out of China, unfortunately, but you know, I have yet to find an American company that makes a good fire steel. Like the Bayite fire steels. There's just something about these fire steels. They throw a big spark, and you know, for the price, they're really good. I've been using Bayite fire steels for many years, but so why is a fire steel important, and why do a lot of preppers overlook it? Well, I think a lot of preppers, they don't understand that survival is an important part of prepping. You know, a lot of preppers think that if they just stockpile freeze-dried food and ammunition and get a lot of expensive guns, that, you know, that's what prepping is all about. But prepping is also involves a lot of smaller items that can really make the difference between life and death in certain situations. And it's not only for survival purposes, but a fire steel is good to have because you can start a fire in any condition. So here I have a bunch of fire steels, and I also have spare strikers. I have like 20 spare strikers here. And you guys, a lot of you guys that have been watching my channel for a while, you'll know that this is my SHTF blade and my SHTF survival kit here, which has a fire steel, a survival knife, and a sharpening tool. And so here I have one of the Bayite fire steels, and I have a striker that I tied to the fire steel. And you can see this one's actually quite used. I've used this one quite a bit. But the good thing about excuse me, about fire steels is that fire steels are you can start a fire in pretty much any condition with a fire steel. You know, if you have a lighter, or if you have a lighter of some kind, you know, lighters, they don't always work. And first of all, why would you need to start a fire if you're a prepper? You know, well, sometimes you may have to cook food. You know, you may have to warm up your freeze-dried food. You may have to boil water, you know, and it's not just for survival purposes. It's also around your home, around your bug out location, your bug in location, your homestead. You know, you may have to boil water. You know, you may have to cook food, and you know, you may have to start a fire in your wood stove. And what's nice about fire steels is that fire steels are much more efficient, and they're just better than lighters are. Okay, lighters are great, but the problem with lighters is that you need pretty much good conditions for lighters to work, and lighters can break. You know, they're plastic, or even if you have a metal one, they can still break. It can rust. And obviously lighters, they run out of fuel. Even if you have a rechargeable one like a Zippo lighter, you're still going to have to refill it. Versus a fire steel, with this fire steel, I can probably start hundreds of fires. I've already started several dozen fires with this one piece of fire steel here. Okay, I've already started probably like 50 fires with this one. And you can see it's not even close to being used up yet. So what's good about a fire steel is that it's cheap, and you can start like one of these fire steels. You can start probably, I would say, at least 500 fires if you know what you're doing, and if you have good tinder sources and you're not wasting your time scraping too much material off of the fire steel. If you have good tinder sources that will catch a spark quickly, you could easily have this one fire steel can last you 1,000 fires, maybe even more, maybe 10,000 fires. So it's a good thing to have because lighters, like I said, they run out of fuel. You need to have good conditions to use them. They can break. They can also evaporate if you store your lighters, and when you're storing your lighters, if you have the button pushed down by accident while it's in storage, it's going to release all the gas from the lighter. So a fire steel is great because there's no fuel here. There's nothing that can really break. It'll work pretty much in any condition, even if it's raining outside. The only thing is if the fire steel gets wet, you just have to dry it off with your shirt. Otherwise, it's not going to get good friction to throw a spark. And in case any of you guys have never seen a fire steel in action, I'll just do a quick demonstration. Okay. You could see those hot sparks, and it actually charred this plastic table. You could see some of the material here. Okay, so a fire steel, it has longevity. You can use it in any situation for survival, for around the house, around the homestead, your bug out location, if you have to get the wood stove going, if you have to boil water, for whatever reason, if you have to start a fire to burn some brush outside. Fire steels are, in my opinion, superior to any kind of lighter or lighter, even an electronic lighter or any other fancy gadget. Because it's pretty much bomb proof. It does have some weight to it. But you get yourself one of these and you're good to go for a long, long time. And if you get several of them, stockpiling a few of these fire steels is a very smart idea. Just because I feel that this is something that a lot of preppers and survivalists are gonna start to hoard right before an SHTF situation. They're gonna buy these things and they're gonna be in short supply. So it's good to stockpile these while you still can. And you can also hand these out to people, in your survival group or in your family. You can give them out if you have spare ones. But it's pretty much a no-brainer, for survival, for the bug out location, bug in location, homestead. You're gonna need to start fires, guys. You're gonna need an ignition source, okay? You're gonna let's say even if you have like a propane stove, and you have like a propane stove or natural gas stove, and if it's a grid down situation, the piezoelectric igniter on your stove is not going to work because the electric is out. So you're going to have to either use a spark or a barbecue lighter or a lighter to get your stove going. And you can easily use this fire steel if you want to use your stove, like I said, boiling water. If let's say it's a SHTF situation and you have to get drinking water and you have to go to your local lake or river and boil some water for drinking, you're going to have to boil that out. And in order to boil it out, you're going to have to start a fire to boil all that water. If you want to boil 20 or 30 gallons of drinking water, you're going to have to start a fire to do that. To boil that much water, you're going to need a fire. if you have a wood stove, if you're going to be cooking, you know, you're going to need a way to start fires. Whether even if you're well prepared and you have everything you need, never underestimate the necessity of having a way to start a fire, a surefire way to start a fire. And this is pretty much a surefire way to start a fire in any condition. As long as you have a good dry tinder source that will catch that spark. As you guys saw, that spark, you know, it melted a little bit and didn't melt, but it left like a little discoloration here on the table. As long as you have something that will catch that spark and burn, you know, you're good to go. So that's pretty much it for this video, guys. I'm going to be doing a video series on fire starting and how to start a fire. There's obviously a lot of information on YouTube about that, and there's all kinds of, you know, self-proclaimed survival experts that, you know everything. But I'm going to try to do like a really simple video on how to start a fire in the wilderness, and just go over the very basic things that you need to know to start a fire. And, you know, this way your mind is not cluttered with too much stuff, you know. So look for that video probably in the next 2 or 3 weeks. I'll probably have that done. So thank you guys for watching. Thank you for supporting the channel. Take care. God bless. And don't forget the 3 Ps. Prepare, practice, and persevere.